Okay, so originally this video was going to be our top 5. This was our original core list of our top 5 games, and these are the ones that were like, I mean, okay, top 10, like they were all like up there, but these are the ones that are like even more close to our hearts. So for me,
Unfortunately.
for me, you'll know why in a second. Okay, for me, this goes to Watch Dogs, and I know there were mixed reviews, but for me, the game provided everything that I wanted from a game like this, and gave me exactly what I hoped for when I bought it. So, I mean, the world I thought was so cool. The fact that it was so detailed where you could ID everybody. That was one of the biggest points, hacking everything. That was such a cool twist to a game that before that wasn't really a thing. Being able to influence and affect your world like that. And Watch Dogs 2 built on that, but it also lost some of the things. I loved Watch Dogs 2 still, but it lost some of the things that I really liked with the first game. For example, one of the things I spent my most time doing once I beat the main game was online races. I know me and my friend would stay up late at night just playing online race after online race, and it was really good. It was underappreciated. People didn't really use that aspect of the game very much. And that wasn't in Watch Dogs 2, to the extent that it was in Watch Dogs 1. But I absolutely loved the whole thing, the concept and the way that it got played out. So that's my number 5.
All right.
Here you go, Evan. Get ready, guys. Here we go. Go for it.
Okay, so this is my number 5 game, but I would say that it's actually the game that had the biggest impact on me throughout this entire decade.
You were all about this game for a good 5 or 6 years, and like solid.
Yeah, and it didn't even it came out in 2009, but it wasn't really a full game then.
In October 2009 too, so very at the end of 2009.
Yeah,
so
it was more of a beta.
It counts.
But this game became everything in the 2010s, and that is League of Legends. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say about this game because it has fallen so far from grace. It has fallen so far, bro.
But still number 5 for you.
Yeah, but that's like it has to be because from 2013 to 2018, that was like all I played. That was like all my friends at the time played.
I get it.
It was like that was everything. And a lot of times I didn't own a console, so it was free to play.
I didn't even know that.
It's free to play, and it's the most played game of all time. League of Legends it was something truly special at the time because that was like, it still is, kinda, it is, but like, it was pop culture defined. Like, we hadn't seen anything like it since Pokemon came out in the 90s.
No one doesn't know what League of Legends is, really. You can't walk through this world without knowing what it is. I haven't played it, and I've known it for years, what it is.
It's literally like, I've never done hardcore drugs, okay? But
oh, sure.
League of Legends is the closest to like a drug I've actually done.
Like an addiction like that. I get it.
Literally, like me and my brother and my friends. Yeah, me and my brother and my friends, we would hate the game. We'd be done with it. And then one of us would be like, hey, yo, you want to get back on League of Legends? And then we would all get back on immediately and hate it for another 4 hours.
That's great.
Repeatedly on
and it's just one of those games, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even know, I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
The highest rank I got was Gold 2.
Yeah.
And then I was like, can't do it anymore. It's not worth it because the community is so bad.
Oh, toxic.
It's so
I've
bad.
heard that. That's just to say how much you like the game too. The fact that these are criticisms that are just like, you know.
And I talk a lot of crap. So
yeah,
I got permabanned actually. My original account, I got permabanned on League because
oh my gosh,
I just talked too much. I'm the same way as I don't know if you know who Video Game Donkey is, but he got banned and he was like, the only fun part of this freaking game is talking trash and being dumb.
So that's not part of it?
Well, it's that Riot bans.
I love how this entire argument for this game could just as easily be in top 10 worst games of the decade.
Literally, yeah, it is.
The exact same conversation.
And that's why I hate that it's so up there on my list because
I get it.
Out of every game on my list...
It can't not be. I get it.
It can't not be. Out of every game on my list, it has had the most impact on me as a gamer, as an artist, as just a person, really. Like
as a talker.
As a talker.
Yeah.
Not really so much. I talk trash everywhere I go. There's nothing like those nights in 2014 playing Season 3, trying to get the gold skins.
And it's those kind of like middle school and high school.
high school. I was in high
Ninth grade, 8th grade, 10th grade.
Yeah.
Those memories of staying up late when there wasn't much of a...
to worry about.
Yeah.
Literally, the closest thing to what Pokemon did in the 90s was League of Legends. And and then Fortnite was kind of that too. Fortnite was a pop culture
phenomenon.
It was. It was a defining moment. But League of Legends was like that, except
before it was that.
But except it was for younger millennials and not like little Gen Z kids.
I get it.
So that's my number 4. But I can't play it anymore. I hate it.
Okay, so number 4, you were just talking about.
I accidentally said League was 5.
League was 5. That was 5. So number 4, we were just saying, you were talking about how those memories of no responsibility, staying up late. Are you kidding me?
Just go turn my door.
So for my number 4 pick, if you guys don't know, I am an avid Call of Duty fanboy. I am unashamed to say it. And I do recognize that every year the game
It gets worse and worse.
No. That's not what I was going to say. It's relatively the same in terms of the concept, and no matter what people say, like, oh, this one's going to change the way we play video games, revolutionary, it's usually not. There's small differences, but overall, I enjoy the game every year. I love the grind for it. I love the simplicity and whatever. It's like people who buy an iPhone every year and refuse to switch to Samsung, even though, you know what I mean? It's because
exactly like that.
An iPhone, you're used to it, you've grown up with it, you know how it works, and it does exactly what you want it to do. That was a good metaphor.
That was a
great metaphor.
Yeah, that was A tier.
That's A tier. But yeah, so I decided to only put one Call of Duty on this list, and that would be Black Ops 2. Which I know if you guys play Call of Duty, you know that's one of the ones up there, especially in this decade, from 2010 to 2020, that's one of the ones up there that is most widely respected just because of aside from the fact that that game had my most memories playing with a lot of friends online, which adds to the nostalgia factor a lot. That game, the simplicity of it, mixed with the amount of fun that it managed to be was just a great middle ground there. The guns were great, the multiplayer was great, the maps were all good. That in the newest Call of Duty, the problem is most of the maps suck. So that's always a great thing. And then the zombies mode was just so good too. And it's everything I wanted out of a Call of Duty game. So it has like the best qualities of all of my favorite points of other Call of Duty games kind of in one. So that's why I chose that Call of Duty to represent kind of the whole thing there.
If there's one game to sum it all up, it'd be
for me,
Black
for this
Ops 2.
decade at least, it'd be Black Ops 2.
All right, so my number 4 pick is an interesting one. Seeing that I haven't touched this game in like 6 years, 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years.
It's been
half a decade.
It's a long time since I touched this game, but it was part of the first half of the.
But it stuck with you.
Yeah, and that spot goes to Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Now, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Yeah, it's not Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That came out, and then Ultimate came out.
Oh, there's a difference?
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, I do prefer the mechanics to Dragon Ball Fighters, or the type of the overall feel of like Mortal Kombat 11.
Sure.
But you gotta understand, UMVC 3 was the first fighting game. UMVC 3 It was the first fighting game to get me into that mindset.
Okay.
That alongside Smash Melee, which was like 20 years ago at this point.
That's crazy.
It's insane. Yeah.
It's
been like 20 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marvel, amazing game. It's like Super Smash Bros. Except for Sony.
Yeah.
Or Xbox, or just
It's
Capcom Marvel.
their version of whatever.
Yeah, all your favorite superheroes and all your favorite Capcom characters. Now, about me, I grew up on Capcom, I grew up on Sony, so all of my favorite characters and all my favorite video games are like
embodied in the game.
Yeah, they're like Final Fantasy and Resident Evil.
Oh, they're really?
Yeah, like a Resident Evil. No, Final Fantasy's not, but like
Resident Evil characters in it?
Yeah. When I grew up on Sony, and what was on Sony was a lot of Capcom games, a lot of Final Fantasy games, Metal Gear. So I'm a Sony kid at heart, but I really do love Nintendo every now and then. But Marvel vs. Capcom 3, it changed my life. It was like the first fighting game that I was like, oh, I want to be good at this. This was like, I was a freshman in high school, like,
Young and impressionable.
Yeah, this was like 7 years ago, and it was a big deal at the time. There are other fighting games I like more now, but that one had the biggest impact on me. And if they ever remastered it, or made a legitimate Marvel vs. Capcom
You'd be
4,
front of the line.
yeah, man, pre-order day one.
Okay, on to number 3. My number 3 for best video game of the decade would go to The Last of Us, which surprisingly enough, IGN or GameSpot, one of those two, just named it their game of the decade.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That surprises me. That doesn't surprise me. It surprises me that it's this high up on your list.
Really? Why?
Because you're just kind of like...
I never talk about it, really.
You never talk about it, and also... You're like such a multiplayer gamer. You play, like, you love Destiny,
That's
Black Ops
true.
2.
Yeah.
The Last of Us is completely story driven, and I love story driven
Well,
games.
I love most of like Sony's first party single player games. I'm all over.
Yeah,
I love that.
I love single player games, but
Yeah.
I didn't even like. I couldn't even get through that game, dude.
You didn't finish it then?
No.
How far did you get?
I got
2 hours.
No, I got like halfway through, and I was like, all right, it's not
Really?
Final Fantasy.
Oh.
I've never really dug on Naughty Dog a lot, but I know
Fair enough.
that they're very loved.
They are.
And Last of Us is a great game. When I played, I was like, this is good, but it's still Naughty Dog, but it's
Yeah.
good.
I didn't play it till it was. Okay, I remember the year it was released on the PS3. My dad showed me a magazine saying this game looks awesome. You should try to get this game. I said I have an Xbox. I don't have a PS3. And then when the PS4 came out, that was already released on it when I got the PS4. So I picked it up that same week and I went through it, man. And dude, but yeah, aside from the world is amazing, it's beautiful, all that kind of stuff, the acting, the story. Well, look, the story is the biggest thing for me. The story. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a writer, and that to me, The Last of Us, is the most realistic narrative story portrayed through a game that I've played.
Wow.
In terms of it plays and it feels like a 50-hour movie. The acting, in some games they're getting closer and closer now, but in some games, and most games up until these last couple of years, the acting has been a tier lower than TVs and movies. You know what I mean? TV shows and movies, because it's just like it wasn't quite
Video
there.
game acting has been bad historically.
Yeah. But it's getting to that place now where it's like famous actors are being in these games because it's the same amount of skill that they allow you to kind of show. That game to me is the epitome of all of that, and the epitome of kind of the progression of where video games are being able to go narratively, which I'm a huge fan of. So that's why it's my number 3.
And the zombies are awesome.
And the zombies are awesome.
The zombies are awesome, and the clickers.
Mm-hmm. I hate them.
Yeah,
but they're awesome. So that's my number 3 pick.
That's a fitting number 3. Our number 3s are similar, kind of.
Really?
All right. Well, once upon a time in 1998, a game called Resident Evil 2 came out.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough.
And Resident Evil 2 defined how sequels should be made. It really set the bar for
and then redefined how remakes should be made.
Exactly. It's super new. It just came out. It's not even a year old yet. It's about to turn a year old. But the Resident Evil 2 remake is probably my 3rd favorite game of this decade. And for so many reasons, as I've said in this video...
And we were just playing 2 nights ago. We're playing after this video.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I went through it for the first time. It's beautiful.
Can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a horror fan. Mm-hmm. I love horror movies. John Carpenter's The Thing is probably my favorite horror movie. That, Halloween.
All right.
Zombies have always been a hit or miss for me. They're not very scary sometimes. They're more just interesting to watch, I guess. It's more interesting to see how people in the zombie world deal with each other.
Like, they're a good factor in stories that they just provide another obstacle, not as the
They're
main
just an
thing.
obstacle.
Like
They're
The
not the
Walking
main.
Dead. We were a Walking Dead fan for a while.
Yeah. Now, Resident Evil 2 is like the
it's
most...
so good. It really is.
There's not a lot...
It's my top 3 of this year, which is still not that high, but it's high, but you know what I mean? But like, I love it.
I can't even describe how good it, other than compelling story, compelling characters, compelling music. It's one of those games that you get what you put in. You can't just like scurry through that game like you're playing Devil May Cry.
But you have the
slash.
option to if you want to.
Yeah, but you're not going to enjoy it as much as
exactly,
if you...
but you have the option to, but then you also are encouraged not to.
Yeah.
You're not forced to, but you're also just...
And also,
discover from it.
by the time a certain fedora-wearing dude... Or not a fedora, he's in a top hat. Mr. X. As soon as Mr. X comes through, you can't...
Pushes that helicopter up, you're like, oh, crap.
Honestly, I don't scare easily, but it's the scariest
the
game.
realism factor makes it a lot more something.
It's not like super realistic,
yeah,
but it's realistic enough.
A tinge of realism.
Yeah, it's a scary game, and PT could have been my #1 game if it ever came out, but it didn't.
Well, you wouldn't know. You didn't get to play it. You wouldn't know what it was.
But Hideo Kojima made it.
Yeah.
It's a Silent Hill. Silent Hill's the only survival horror like franchise that's as good as Resident Evil.
How many
if
games
not
are there in
better.
that series?
Too many. I don't even know.
Too many. All right.
But yeah, it's a great game. I don't really even know what else to say.
All right, my number 2 pick
My #2
is That's a bad accent. I'm sorry. I tried to do it a Western
Red
accent.
Dead Redemption 2.
I tried.
Red Dead Redemption.
And
was that it?
I'm gonna keep that in the video.
I'm already doing
but-
better. Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption. I can't do it. My number 2 pick is Red Dead Redemption 2 because it's flawless. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, but literally,
I haven't played it yet.
that game.
Flawless is a big word.
I didn't play the first one, which also came out, I think, in this decade, 2010, I believe.
I think so.
Okay, didn't play it. This game blew my mind. Everything from the graphics, which are they're crazy good. You walk through the mud with your horse, and every print makes a little. And like not just like
attention to detail,
like such attention. All the mud on the buildings. Every town has a distinct look. To the detail, which goes from all the different rooms being open, and you get to pay for a hotel. You get to go to the store and pick out what things you want in the store, different things like that. To the CPUs or the NPCs, not CPUs. The NPCs. There was a video on YouTube of this guy who followed around one NPC for an entire 24-hour cycle. He went from his house to work, did his work, walked back to town to his house.
That's too much.
They each have their own life. It's just so. This all caters to the fact of like creating a world in which you can invest yourself.
Yeah.
And you can do the missions, right? You can do the main story. You can go on bounty hunt. You can go fishing. You can go hunt. There's all these things you do just as if you're living. And it's of course Rockstar did GTA, so they're known for having places where you can just kind of have your life set up there.
Yeah.
But it is definitely
Just keep going.
my number 2 pick.
My #2 game, almost #1. Oh, so close. It's so close. Dark Souls.
Which one? First one?
Okay, all of them could actually be an argument
'Cause
for
they're
my
all
favorite
this
Dark
decade.
Souls. Yeah. They can all be in the argument for my favorite Dark Souls.
Okay.
But I have to give it to the first one. I have to give it to Dark Souls 1. I never played a game like it. It was so hard. It was so difficult.
And that's why I'll never play it, because I'm a hardcore
Dude.
gamer that plays casual games.
Dude, it was hard. It was like
Yeah.
It was like old school Castlevania. It was like
Oh my god.
it was a hard game.
I would get so frustrated on that if I ever tried that.
Dude, I was like 14. I didn't have patience then. I don't even know why I liked
I
it
don't
so
have
much.
patience now.
I know, yeah. So, okay, but the reason why it was so amazing was because it rewarded you for being a good player. A lot of games
Yes.
nowadays reward you for being stupid. Video games just love to walk.
Yeah.
They love to spoon feed you and hold your hand through the whole game.
Yeah.
And Dark Souls was just like, no.
Here's a sword, go out there, have fun.
Yeah. It rewarded you for being good, for learning the game.
Okay.
It was horrifying. It didn't
Yeah.
scare me, but it was like,
But
it was
the vibe,
it was
tone.
gothically beautiful and
Cool.
haunted. It was disgusting. There were giant sewer rats coming to fight you. There were giant 16-headed dragons with their chests wide open.
Oh my
The gaping
gosh.
dragon, the Taurus demon, the Capra demon. You fought demons in that game, man. You
Yeah.
fought demons and
You fought demons.
Obviously, my goal in any role-playing game is to pimp myself out. I want to look as cool as possible.
They have customization options. You can customize. Cool.
And not only is that game like just really good in terms of execution,
Yeah.
it has a captivating story if you
Fair.
go into it. It's a beautiful game. It really is. And there's not really anything else that I can say that hasn't been said about it already. We all talk about Dark Souls to this day.
Yeah.
All the gamers talk about it.
That's one of the ones that's like up there as like the unattainable level, like in terms of like challenge.
Yeah, people consider it the hardest game ever. It's not.
And the best crafted in terms of how it approaches that kind of thing too.
Exactly, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was creepy. But we have made it to
Children.
number one. This is crazy because like doing number one of the year is already a big deal. To number one of the last 10 years, like a decade. Like think about where you were a decade ago.
How old am I? 22?
I don't know how old you are.
I'm 22.
You were 12.
I was 12.
I was 11.
I was just getting into Nirvana.
Think back to 2010, man. Like, and this goes along with my number one pick also. I'm painting the picture here, right? Go back to 2010. The first half I was still in 5th grade, second half I was in 6th grade, but get back from school, you see these tweets all the time, right? Going back home from school, turn on the Xbox,
Oof.
and what game is on there? You go on there first off.
That's right. Gears of War.
And all the friends that now say are offline and have been offline for years, we're all still online.
Stop.
You know who you are? Oh. But we would all be online. You know what each one of them would say? About 80% of the people online, you know what it would say they were playing?
Yeah.
What?
Halo
Reach.
Halo Reach.
Halo Reach. Halo Reach. And I would kind of honorably put the Master Chief Collection on this because in fact it did come out in this decade. But
That's cheating.
And I know like having all your friends online playing with you, that nostalgia plays a big role. But I think that has to be a factor when doing these things. That is a big factor. And
so.
to ignore it as not part of the experience is kind of ignoring a big part of the experience. So, I mean, let alone that Halo Reach is a beautiful game. The gameplay is amazing. It was actually my first Halo. That was my introduction into Halo as a franchise, which has become, I've played every single game to its full extent. So that was the beginning of my love for this franchise. But just as a standalone game, the narrative, the story, believe it or not, despite the fact that Master Chief, the main character of Halo, is not in this game, it's my favorite.
He's not?
No.
What?
It's my favorite campaign, because it's a prequel. It takes place before.
Oh.
Not only the way it ties into the story, but just each of the characters and the way the story plays out. It's heartbreaking, it hurts, it's painful, but it's so beautiful and so well done. Multiplayer is amazing, all of that, just so many memories, alongside the fact that the game is near perfect in my eyes. And that's why it is my number one game of the decade, and also my number one game of all time. So, Halo Reach, number one.
All time.
All time.
Nice.
Alright, final remarks. What's your number one, baby? Wrap it up.
My number one pick. Alright. This is a very popular pick, actually. Now,
Modern Warfare 3.
Modern Warfare 3. No. I'm not really even a big fan of this franchise. You know, I've played some of these games. I've enjoyed them. I've enjoyed all of them that I've played, but I've never been like a die-hard fan of this franchise.
That's fair.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is my game of the decade.
I have not played it. It looks beautiful.
Yo, that game blew my mind. It was one of those games where actually I played it, and I was like, this is awesome. This is great. What's that over there? And put it down.
Yeah.
It then came back like a year later, once I had like a big TV and some headphones, and that game transported me, man. It took me somewhere else.
Those are the best kinds of games. That you
really is.
Just immersed.
It really is. Breath of the Wild is almost not a Zelda game. It's like, it's different from all the other Zeldas.
Okay.
But it keeps some of its like old school themes, you know? Breath of the Wild's whole quest is like this quest of redemption, restoration, like overcoming the obstacles of the odds, and it's also just like Resident Evil 2. It's you get what you put in.
Breath of the Wild, you know, just like Resident Evil 2.
Zombies and zombies
and zombies.
No, but for real, Breath of the Wild it's a sandbox game. It's kind of like it's like if the developers of Breath of the Wild were like, hey, let's borrow something from Rockstar. Let's learn how to play Grand Theft Auto and then transition that into Nintendo, because Breath of the Wild it's Legend of Zelda, climb on everything. Cook whatever you want. Kill whatever you want.
Awesome.
Run around. You want to collect some Deku homies? You don't know what I'm talking about. Korok homies. You want to find some random Korok little like wood children in the forest that hide? Go find them and you get bonuses. You want to fight a giant.
Capture children from the woods.
There's a lot of games this year or this decade that have been very loved, but I was never extremely crazy for. Skyrim, Minecraft.
Didn't play much Skyrim. Played a little bit of Minecraft.
All the Grand Theft Auto games.
Yeah, never played them.
And it's almost like Legend of Zelda borrowed just a hint of all those games.
Enough to make something and build off of, yet keep its own identity, kind of.
Yeah, and you kind of create your own story in Breath of the Wild. But Breath of the Wild, as an original game, as an experience,
as a single individual entity,
I haven't played anything like it.
Yeah.
I really haven't. It not only is it my favorite game of this decade, but it can make the argument for being in my top 5 games of all time.
It's
not my game of all time,
yeah,
but it's up there. Yeah, it's up there.
I mean, it sounds. If I had a Nintendo Switch, that would definitely be up on my list, right behind Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey looks amazing too.
So
I'm a Mario. I love Mario.
No, literally, the last 3 games, Resident Evil 2, Dark Souls, and Breath of the Wild, they're all games that's like I don't really know what to even say. Like they speak for themselves at this point. Yeah. But no, that game is probably my game of the decade.
Probably.
It's probably. I told them at the beginning.
This is a list of absolutes.
Hey, then #1 game.
All right, guys. So we made it through the entire list. 10 for me, 10 for Evan. Those were our top 10. Tentative, not set in stone. For me, it was pretty set in stone. For you, like, I don't know. Our top 10 games of the last 10 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy thinking back where that was and where we are now. And I can't wait to look back on the next 10 years starting this year and see, oh my gosh, how far gaming has come. And then all the great experience we'll have from then on.
The more I think about it, I think my list is solid. I don't see anything changing right
After talking through it, you're like convincing yourself there.
Yeah, I don't see anything beating it.
It was a good list. It was solid. Both our lists I felt pretty good about, So, yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like
Smash that like button.
Give it a like. Subscribe if you'd like to. I'm not forcing you guys to. Listen, a lot of these videos, they go, like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to force you, I'm going to offer you to join our community. If you want to join the Austin Clan, which I'm not calling it that, but that's what I'm going to call it right now, if you want to join us and follow our journey as individuals and as creators.
Genkai wo karu Austin Canada.
If you want to watch these videos, then, press the like button and subscribe, guys. And hope you guys join the fun. Until next time, guys,
I'll be back.
He'll be back on some more videos. That's it for this video, guys. I will see you all, and he will see you all on certain videos, but I will see you on the next video. Peace out.